The players are Niklas on the Ryzeal Mitsurugi deck. Up against
Maliss at Ignister, and it looks like Fabian has won the die roll. And I can give you a quick background on Niklas. He came over to the featured match area, looked at me and said, I know I'm playing against Maliss now, and I've never played against that deck in my life. Which I was told, like, that put me off. That threw me off, I can tell you, because who at this point has not played against Maliss so far?
I really hope he has exaggerated, sorry.
Okay, I mean, that's a start. Just use the imprint on the Dormouse, can't be too bad.
I mean, if my opponent starts with the field, but I think, of course, we start with the infinite impermanence, especially because he could just link it off quickly.
Yes, okay. Is there something to extend here? Oh, there is backup secretary.
The backup at Ignister, probably the best card you could have in this situation. And it looks like Niklas does not have an answer.
Really doesn't seem like. I don't even know whether Niklas knows that card, to be honest, but that is surely the card you want to have there. That is one of the reasons why the Maliss deck can now, even though the consistency was lowered with the last Forbidden and the Limitless, still continue to extend. And we do search, of course, for the Wizard.
Yeah, and these cards, they are so strong. We discard a Mulchami for Valas. We really don't need that in this duel. And now the Wizard is already activated to bring back the Dormouse. And now, honestly, if Niklas has Nibiru, the Primal Being now, that would be really crucial, because it looked like we really need a Maliss name for a Link 3, but Niklas doesn't have it.
He doesn't have it. And I just realized backup secretary looks almost the same than backup at Ignister. But of course, you were right. That was the backup at Ignister just previously released in Alliance Insight. Yeah, they look like brother and sister, but it's in terms of power level, I feel like backup at Ignister may have been a little bit stronger. And was that, I think that was GWC, or what did he said there?
It looked like it to me, but he'll activate it immediately, and it is TB11.
Ooh, that's the one you expect the least, because that is definitely, out of the 3 trap cards that Maliss has, is the one where players have decided that it's probably the easiest one to get rid of if you want to play a lower trap lineup. And then recently, even it was the development that even GWC was cut from some lists, but Fabian has decided, hey, I like those traps, I'm going to play all of them.
Yeah, the big issue of TB11 is the card is only really good if you go first, and it also negates the effects, or makes them not activated rather.
Yeah.
And that is just much weaker than of a power level than an interrupt when you already have problems with bricking sometimes.
That is indeed true and the case. But Fabian right now, with going first, of course, loves how that TB11 is putting in the work.
Yeah.
And Niklas is shaking his head. He said, that was a crazy match against Yoho. I had an insane hand in all of the games that we played, and it got me through here into top 8. And I mean, he was, if you forgot about the introduction of our top 16, he was the one. Of course, being the luckiest guy in the venue when the final standings were announced, because he was 16th after Swiss, just barely making it in, and now is in top 8 as well. Definitely, though, not an unfamiliar face Niklas is, because Niklas does have multiple top cuts, spots, and finishes at, I think even YCS is in his resume.
Yeah, the big issue here now is, which we are seeing, is we had to use the white binder to get a Maliss trap.
True.
And now we cannot easily trigger the white rabbit because we are already locked into Cybers. Therefore, no Haggard Lizardos, but maybe the Red Ransom can help us.
I mean, the Red Ransom is only just going to give us another field spell for the moment, though. And we already did that.
I mean, we can get the Maliss Mirror.
Oh, true. Oh, yeah. I always forget that this card is now also there.
Inside, yeah. And Niklas really has to read it, and this card is very powerful, simply because it is... First of all, if you read it, you think like, okay, yeah, my opponent now has Forbidden Shadows. What can that do? But just by banishing the card from the field, it can become an interruption or extender. And as well, the graveyard effect, nothing to underestimate, because if that card is banished, we can banish one Maliss card from your graveyard and search one card of the same type. And there is a second the Terraforming, which will search a second field spell, which won't do a lot here. Yeah,
Maliss in the Underground just for follow-up here. Not necessarily changing anything about the end field that Fabian is putting out here. And if that really is the first match that Niklas is playing against Maliss, he's immediately getting a pretty decent showcase of what the deck can do, to be honest, because he's getting to see all the trap cards, all the Maliss monsters. And we have not even normal summoned yet. True. Okay, linking them all. Oh,
but it looks like I could talk a pass.
I mean, we can also use the effect, of course, first of all, bringing
course.
back both Link-free monsters from the graveyard there.
But the issue is, I don't see really a way how we could get the white binder banished when it hits the graveyard in Niklas' turn. Except we had the Marcha already, but I wouldn't bet on that because I'm pretty sure he would have used it in his combo.
Yeah, I would agree. It would at least seem like that.
Oh, we have such a Maliss Mirror, to be fair.
Sets 2. Yeah, the Maliss Mirror would help with that,
Yeah.
indeed. So it does ultimately look like a pretty damn good setup. Cutting the deck and play goes over to Niklas, who is one of our remaining Ryzeal Mitsurugi players in the field, which, of course, was the deck that won the YCS in Providence over in America in the USA last weekend. But it's not very well represented anymore now on Top Cut. I think he might be the only Ryzeal Mitsurugi player remaining.
It could actually be. I'm really curious which decks will be in top 8. We only know. I mean, I know of one Blue Eyes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
same. Marco is writing the true hero story here of the weekend, maybe.
And I think I also saw quite some Malice decks,
Yes.
which in this game especially, again, we can see how strong the deck can be, even though being hit by an infinite impermanence. But they're talking about strong cards, right?
That is the dream start when you are facing already strong cards on the field. Chainlink 1 Axe, Chainlink 2 Aggregator, trying to negate the Allied Code.
Yeah, that's such a great start because it doesn't really make sense to negate that aggregator because then the Allied Code Talker negate would have been hit or used already. So he will get rid of it either way. Question is, will Fabian want to use one of his set cards?
Not for the moment. We do just search out the Sword Ryzeal. Nothing on resolution. Immediately continuing. Also special summoning out the Sword Ryzeal. Fabian goes after it with the Maliss in the mirror. That's
And
early,
Niklas
right?
again got a read. Yeah, that looked quite early. I could only imagine, I mean, we could banish the Red Ransom and then banish a Marcha to get it if we want to, but doesn't look like we do.
Banishing the white binder instead. And I mean,
we get...
when you negate the Sword Ryzeal, why do we not negate the X Ryzeal in the first place, right? Because that Sword Ryzeal we got for free. We just sorted out with the X Ryzeal. So why not just stop the thing that gets us the thing instead of stopping the thing that came out of it?
No, I agree with you. The only thing we can do now here is we can use our white binder probably and banish, first of all, the Malice Mirror and as well as the white rabbit so we can get to the MTP anyways.
Yeah.
And that is a very strong interrupt, but I agree with you. I don't know why we would use it on Sword and not on Axe.
Yeah. And I mean, we could have even made sure to get the Mirrorlogic Aggregator out of the graveyard earlier on as well. Which could we then even have special summoned the Sword Ryzeal? Yeah, Sword Ryzeal only needs a Ryzeal, right?
Oh, there's Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion of Niklas, and that card makes a big difference here.
Yeah, that's a card that not a lot of people have been playing in their main decks lately, but Niklas is one of the people deciding to do so, and Fabian is shaking his head because that one catched him off guard.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I love that Ghost Spell.
Yeah.
I think that card is so good right now. The only issue you might have is you already want to fit like 15 hand traps or so, and Ghost Spell is only your 6th best option, you think. But here we already saw how good that card can be.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's probably choosing it over something like Effect Veiler here in the main deck, because I don't see any Effect Veilers in his main deck, and instead we chose to run that Ghost Spell, so it probably was like the concrete replacement for the Effect Veiler. Beforehand it was Effect Veiler, now it is Ghost Spell, and it does make so much sense.
And there is the Ryzeal Duo Draft, and if that card resolves, I think Fabian is in real danger.
Wow, it is resolving.
And now what can we add? We will probably add Note and the Field Spell, the Cross. Oh, but we can add... Of course we can add Ice because we have normal
summoned, yeah. Totally, and there is now the Ryzeal Cross. Things are looking good for Niklas. Normal Ice effect, Ice Ryzeal. Ice in top 8 here. This might be the first Ice Ryzeal of the entire tournament, right? I don't remember seeing a single one.
I don't think it's the first one, though.
I think we had one, yeah, true. We had one, but definitely very much less represented than the Maliss decks here overall in this tournament.
Yeah, and we are getting Sword. Maybe we do even play the Note Ryzeal?
We do not play Note Ryzeal. You might be onto something there. Yeah, going for his list. There is no Note Ryzeal.
Oh, no, I found it. I think it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, true. Just in front of the Habakiri, true.
Yeah. So it is his card, and there is the Ryzeal Detonator, and now we could even negate a card like Nibiru the Primal Being. The question though is, can Niklas get into his Mitsurugi engine still?
That's probably not possible, right?
Oh.
I mean, all it needs is one Habakiri, and that's all the Mitsurugi engine in the world. That is huge what Niklas has drawn here, because this deck, it struggles when it only is drawing one of the two engines. But when it is able to access both of them, both the Ryzeal and the Mitsurugi part of the deck, then it just shines.
And there is Dominus Impulse, even destroying the Habakiri. That is huge here, because now Niklas cannot get it as easily to his Mitsurugi engine.
Not shining at all anymore. Yep. Niklas confirming. The Dominus Impulse still sitting there. Fabian waiting for Niklas to destroy the Habakiri in his hand.
No, Niklas is thinking about chaining the detonator to pop something.
Oh, true. Yeah, fair. Very fair.
That's why he read the field spell, what it really does, because that often like confused, because I think like the red ransom, it does change attack and death.
Yeah, it does.
And that's like very confusing sometimes.
Okay, we're using the detonator. What are we going to go after here?
Probably the allied card or the
White Binder is the target, and that does resolve without any hesitation. And yeah, Fabian says, I would love to destroy that Habakiri, and it is in the graveyard now.
It's actually not optional to destroy their form. We had to destroy here. Which is, of course, an advantage for Fabian, because I would really like to get that Habakiri out of hand.
Surely do. But now Fabian looks like he might be out of things to hold back against Niklas. And okay, now Ryzeal Cross will make sure to give even an additional new card to Niklas now.
Yeah, but if he cannot really... I mean, we know how explosive the follow-up of the Maliss deck can be. At one point, it looks like the Maliss player has nothing left, and all of a sudden, you banish that White Binder, you summon it back, you banish 3 other cards, and all of a sudden there's 5 monsters on your field.
100% do agree. You gotta admit that. But I mean, we know that they have Maliss in Underground in their hand as one of their remaining cards, which is easy to be answered with the Ryzeal Detonator. And after that, I don't know how many more cards for follow-up they do have. Niklas currently trying to figure out whether there's anything else he can do. I don't... Okay, did he just draw into that node Ryzeal, or did he just have it all the way through? That's crazy.
Oh, he sent the card from his hand.
7 Tachyon discarded.
I mean, we don't need it here, I
yeah,
guess.
with no other cards in hand, how would you even use it?
But how do we get to a ritual spell? Does he maybe play the Code Inverter here?
We go Tornado
it's the Tornado Dragon.
Okay. I see what you're doing here, Niklas. Trying to destroy that Maliss Underground in all possible ways. Now, of course, the attack over the Red Ransom. Duo Drive attacks the Allied Code as well, and it is gone. Field of Fabian completely destroyed here by Niklas. Well shown how cool this Ryzeal Mitsurugi deck is going second. How well, with only engine even sometimes, it can play through those fields. But now it is back over to Fabian. And as you have been saying, that deck can do such things. Normal summon Chassis Cat now.
Oh, I'll be honest with you, there's no way that effect results.
Let's see.
I mean, there is a cross, that's what I mean.
Chassis Cat.
Do we let it resolve now, or do we use something?
Oh, we could, of course. I mean, yeah, we can chain the detonator to also destroy it, and then on resolution negate it.
Yeah, we destroy it, and
yes, we do exactly that. Niklas knows what he's doing. He does give up on the aggregator here, though.
Yeah, but that's very smart that he summoned Tornado Dragon as well, because now he can still pop the field spell like he does here.
And that is it! Niklas wins it, going second.
Okay, and I'm very, very sure that Fabian will go first, but before the first action, Niklas will drop the Mochami Purulia.
And there is now Maliss in Underground, and that immediately gets answered with Ghostbell and Haunted Mansion. This time we do not even hold back with it. So that must mean that Niklas probably just drew that for turn last game, right? Because otherwise he could have just also used it on the Maliss in Underground there.
I mean, the situation is very different. Here, first of all, the Ghost Bell, it does negate the activation. Therefore, the Maliss in Underground goes to the graveyard. I think the situation is quite different, because here you use the Purulia, and in case your opponent Fabian can do any extenders like the March here, then you draw a card.
That is funny though, because it kind of works out for Fabian here that the Maliss Underground went to the graveyard, and now we have to normal summon the Fubalas, of course granting Niklas an additional draw off of his Purulia there.
But what can we do with these two? There's the Almirage now. Oh, we can go Splash Mage.
Yep.
Yeah.
That does work. It is kind of awkward, but it does get us to the point where we get to actually play a combo here.
Does Niklas have another way to get...
Oh, infinite impermanence, and Fabian is nodding. I don't think he can recover from that. What an opener from Niklas, and the turn of Fabian is over. So maybe it is going to be the next Dutchman falling here in the Dutch National Championship.
Now, is there a Habakiri? Does Niklas have it? That might seal the deal already.
Oh, main phase, Niklas. Honestly, any Ryzeal card or Mitsurugi card, all of them would be really, really good here right now. Just any kind of engine, because there is no existing field for Fabian.
Yeah, what can Niklas do? What does he have? He is thinking. But is that a good or a bad sign is the question.
Oh, I think we're just thinking about what to lead with. I'm calling it. Niklas has an amazing hand, and he just tries to figure out which of his amazing cards he's going to play out first here, with which one he's trying to bait. And there is, okay, I mean, would you consider that a good start?
Yeah, I think Normal Summon Aromasa does the deal. The question now is, does Fabian have an interrupt for it? And it is the Infinite Impermanence. We gotta keep in mind the middle column.
Oh, we're in the battle phase! There's no way! It looks like Niklas does not have any other plays. We can only attack over the Splash Mage, and therefore there is not going to be any further comboing, I would imagine.
Yeah, but Fabian really got to draw a playable card because his graveyard does not have the great set, and now we pass.
Look at that, we pass over. There's no way, Fabian. Does he look happy? Oh, main phase. Okay, okay. Back up at Ignister.
Oh, and if that resolves, we can get the Wizard and therefore get back the Marcher as well.
And it does resolve. There you go.
Okay, we will add the Wizard. Does Niklas maybe have a Droll and Lockbird here to shut down further searching?
Where's that at Ignister? And we get rid of Artifact Land.
I think it's our
okay, that's for Crossout Designator. Must be, must be. Where's that at Ignister? But then also gets mad with Ghostbound Haunted Mansion. Niklas is basically a member of the Ghostbound Haunted Mansion family at this point. Also negating this here.
Yeah, the question is now, does Niklas have another way to play? Because Aromasa alone is not. We gotta clarify for a moment that if Ghostbound works. I would be shocked if it doesn't. Oh, yeah, we can't use the Wizard, of course, because we need a monster from the extra deck.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I see. I
mean,
Good catch, actually.
We will still use it, probably, because otherwise the Ghostbound stays in hand.
Oh, and we did draw into the Sargi. Niklas is absolutely now in this. No cards in hand for Fabian anymore, and the hand shot.